100 of the best science fiction movies, man, as laid down by me, your boy C, the host of pretty much all the things, most of the things right here on the Pop Brigade Network, man. You know what we've been doing. You know what the game is here. We're talking about science fiction movies, man. We're talking about the 100 best, what I think the 100 best are. Your list might look a little bit different, and you've all gone to great lengths to tell me that your lists look a little bit different. But this is ranking them by me from 100 to 1. And we're doing one a day for the first 100 days of the year 2022, so you can get that good science fiction goodness all up in your life. Yesterday, we talked about number 51, Cloud Atlas, the last gasp of the Wachowskis. From what I hear, I have not checked it out, but from what I hear that there's good critical success with Sense8 over there on Netflix. Like I said, I never checked it out, but yeah, on the big screen, man, this is about the last flickering lights for the Wachowskis. But yeah, that was number 51. Today, number 50. We've reached the halfway point of our business here, people. The Vast of Night. This joint is so low budget they didn't even give it a tagline. At the dawn of the space race, two radio-obsessed teens discover a strange frequency over the airwaves in what becomes the most important night of their lives and in the history of their small town. Blam! The Vast of Night, man. Let's just talk about it for a little bit. It came out of bloody nowhere, man. It came out of nowhere. It's one of those movies that I wasn't really feeling until I went back and I checked it out a second time. And then I really appreciated it on that second go around. This movie started at like 80 something on my list. And the more I thought about it, the more I eased it up. And it went up almost 30 spots, man. It's this movie. Let me think about that. Yeah, this movie probably has the greatest swing of any movie on this list from where it started to where it ended up at. If you're not familiar with you know what it's all about, it is streaming on Amazon. It's a movie that's actually a TV show. People forget that the movie starts the movie starts with a slow push in on a TV screen. And then we've pushed through that TV screen. That's when we find ourselves in the quote unquote movie proper, as it were. It's meant to be like a Twilight Zone type episode. And it succeeds wonderfully in that, I think. The story is about an alien encounter during the 1940s, 50s, 40s. This is set in the 50s, but we get through backstory that people have encountered things like this from back in the war. So we're talking about like the 40s is when the encounters happen. I told you a few days ago, I'm a sucker for Cold War era storytelling, and that's what this is. The movie succeeds because of the tone that the director Andrew Patterson sets for the movie. It's a bit moody, atmospheric. A majority of it takes place. Actually, I think all of it takes place in this little tiny out-of-the-way town during a high school basketball game. And since so many people are at the game, the town just seems so deserted and empty. And it's a brilliant setup. It really is. And at the heart of it are these two main characters, Faye and Everett, as they try to unravel what's going on in the town. Faye works at the local switchboard, and she's seeing some, for you young people, switchboards are how phone calls were made before you could have your phone in your pocket there. And Everett is the town's nighttime disc jockey. For you young people, disc jockeys, well, they played stuff on the radio before podcast and streaming music existed. Yeah, and it's just the two of them working together to figure out what the fuck is going on. Faye as a switchboard operator finds this weird signal, and Everett as the disc jockey broadcasts it out to the listeners to see if they can help them identify what the weird signal is. And, that's... Once he broadcasts that out, that's when the movie skyrockets into another gear. The first few minutes might lose you because it seems meandering, but what Patterson is doing is all of your heavy character development are in that first 20, 30 minutes. And by the time that phone call hits, that really kicks the mystery off. You know everything you need to know about Faye, about Everett, and about the town itself. This is a $700,000 budget, and it is marvelously executed. And once Amazon got a hold of it, they showed it in drive-in theaters, which is doubly genius because this came out in 2020, and drive-ins were a good way to show movies but still be isolated in your distance in your own vehicle. But because the movie was set in the 50s, being at a drive-in theater while watching it kind of evokes that old-time feel of how movies used to be consumed. If you haven't seen Vast of Night, man, I'm considering doing it as a Paprika watch-along. I gotta put out a feeler to see who all has Amazon Prime. Actually, by the time you listen to this, I've already put that feeler out there, so we'll have to see if we can do a little bit of a Paprika watch along with that. I'll have to set that up soon. But yes, man, did this? It went under some radars, and it's severely underrated. Go ahead and check that out. But we will be back. 24 of the hours. We are halfway done with the list. Tomorrow, we're breaking into the 40s. What's 49 going to be? I guess we'll have to find out. So stay tuned right here on Paprika.